In this lesson, we'll draw in the leg bones. We're ready to start developing our skeleton, and I like to start from the bottom up. So let's go ahead and start with the legs. Now what I'd like to do is actually create a custom toolbar that will quickly allow us to turn on and off X-ray for this character. We'll want it off mainly, or want it on mainly I should say, so we can see exactly where our bones are going to be placed. And then we'll want to turn that off when it comes to enveloping the character. And just checking to see how our controls are coming along. So let's say we go ahead and create that. What I'll first do is head over to Customize, Customize User Interface, go to the Quad tab, and again you want to make sure that the custom UI that we've made, that custom quad menu that we've made is going to be loaded up in case you restarted Max. Alright, so now that that's done, we can head over to our Manage Layers, okay, and again I'm just Alt right clicking, Manage Layers, and then from there, let's say we go to the character, the animation character layer. We'll go ahead and have that selected. Now what we're basically going to do to create these buttons is use Max's macro recorder to retrieve the code we need to turn on and off X-ray. So this is very simple. We'll head over here to our bottom left hand corner of the screen, and this is how we can open up and access Max's listener window. Okay, this is where we're going to be able to retrieve the macro script we need. So we right click and choose Open Listener Window. From here, we go to the macro recorder menu and choose Enable. And now we have this top panel opened up. This is basically what shows us our history from the commands that we run. So now that that's enabled, let's go back to our animation character layer. We'll right click on it, go to Object Properties, and we'll choose See-Through. Notice what happens now. If we were to go ahead and hit OK, now we have this code telling us that Max has just turned on X-ray mode for this character. What's nice is that there's no specific name here. Okay, we just have this string that allows us to apply this to anything we have selected, really any object. Okay, so this X-ray command that we're about to add, this X-ray tool, can be used not only for this character but for any other objects you have in your selection. Okay, so now that we have this, what I'm going to go ahead and do is copy this, go to the next line down, just click, and then paste, and simply change the on to off. So now we have the commands that we need to turn X-ray on and off. From there we can go to Customize, Customize User Interface, head over to our Toolbars tab, create a new toolbar. We'll call this our DT Rigging Tools. We'll choose OK. Here it is. Now, to actually add tools to this, it's just a matter of going back to our X-ray, highlighting it, and dragging it to our toolbar. And there it is. Now, we'll want to go ahead and find the X-ray off. Seems to have disappeared, but that's fine. I'll just go ahead and delete this second line here. Again, I'll copy the first line, paste, and switch the on to off. And now we can go ahead and take this and drag that to our custom toolbar. Great, so watch this. If we were to go ahead and select our character by turning off freeze and choose X-ray off, there we have it. And if we wanted to, we can turn X-ray on. Okay, great. Now you can see the eyes are still in X-ray, so what you'd want to do is select everything here and just turn off X-ray, and that solves that issue. Okay, so now we can go ahead and turn off our macro recorder. We can go ahead and rename these because we don't know what does what right now. We want to be a little bit more descriptive, so we can right click and choose Edit Button Appearance, go to the tooltip, and simply label this X-ray on. I'll go to the text button and label it the same thing. When we choose OK, there's our button. I'll do the same for the lower half. So this is X-ray off. Go to the text button and label that as well, and there we have it. Okay, so this is going to save us a lot of time so we don't have to go to our layer, right click, object properties. Okay, great. So now that that's done, I'm just going to go ahead and turn off X-ray, or turn on X-ray for that matter, for the character. What I'll also do is press F4 so we can see the wireframe. We want to keep the topology in mind when we're drawing out our bones to make sure that they're going to be in the right place. I'll also freeze the character now so we don't accidentally select it. Okay, so with that done, of course you'd want to go ahead and save this out. You'd want to save out your toolbar here, so you could always go to save and name this DT Rigging UI. Save. Alrighty, so we can close that out. We can close out our layer manager, can move over our handy toolbar, and we can now get to our bone tools and start drawing out these legs. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually go over to the side view. I'll press Z so we can zoom our character to fit nicely within each viewport. Head over to our side view again. And what we're basically going to do is go ahead and start to draw these joints. Now, I've chosen the side view, of course, because that is where we'd get our main bend from these legs. If it was happening in another view, let's say the front view, let's say the character was flipped horizontally, then you'd want to draw it out. Whichever view is going to allow you to draw the bones to get the preferred angle so that you can invoke IK or move your IK handle properly and bend this leg as it should deform. Alright, so from here I'm just going to go ahead and go to Bone Tools. I'll move this over, choose Create Bones. Okay, we can create one bone just to see its size. Wow, that's really large. So I'll just go ahead and click once, right click twice, so we can come out of our bone tool, select this first bone, head over to our modify panel and kind of decrease the size so we can get an idea of what would be a better size for this character. So I'll just decrease the width and height to 1. And that looks pretty good. Okay, so let's go ahead and use 1 for our legs. So I'll select both of these bones, hit delete. Go back to create bones, head over to our width and height, and set this to 1 for both. Alrighty, so now we can go in and start to draw. Now, the pivot of our thigh bone, we want that to basically lie right where the hip would actually originate from if we were looking at the center of the character. So we want that thigh bone to start right about at this point here. Okay, that's where we're going to get the proper deformation from the thigh from. And it takes a good study of anatomy to know exactly where your bone should be placed. So please study anatomy and get an idea of how to create your bones so that you can get the best deformations possible. I'm going to go ahead and draw this joint to the knee and click. Head over to the ankle, click, the ball of the foot, the toe, and now we can right click to end this chain. What I also like to do is actually add an extra knee. This double knee that we're about to create, it works wonders for deformations. It allows us to preserve the knee as that knee bends. So to do this, we don't have to create another bone. All we need to do is use refine. So we'll simply choose refine, click the chain we'd like to refine. There's our bone. Now we can turn off refine. We don't want to add any extras. We'll go to bone edit mode, click that bone, and bring that up. And then we can go to the bottom one there and bring that down, kind of fit that a little bit better in the leg. Okay, so there we have it. If we were to head over to our front view, you can see that the chain is actually centered with the character. We want that to slide over. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is turn off bone edit mode. We'll stop the lesson here, and the next lesson we'll continue this process of creating our leg chain.